Okay, so what's up, everybody? This is KingJivesShow here, doing an interview with one of the victims that have been extorted and just tried to be railroaded by the obnoxious blogger William G. McCrae III, if that's his real name, who is going to be choked by his own bow tie. Anyways, so we're just having a conversation here with prophet pastor Ryan Chandler. So he's just going to give his side to the things that have occurred between he and William McCrae, and more than likely some other individuals that William McCrae has dealt with as well. So prophet, pastor, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good.
So do I just begin? Just take it from the top, or
Yeah.
you have a question? Q&A.
Right.
Well, I will say this, that as you know, because you covered the story, that I was in a quite similar situation to another pastor previous in regards to a one-hit item situation, and so you allowed me to come on this platform again to share my experience with that. And so basically we're piggybacking on obnoxious, William McCrae, aka obnoxious. It was in the year of 2013 when I did have my conference yet again, and Dr. Bynum was the special guest, along with other notable preachers, Prophetess Barbara Calloway and Bishop Marcus McIntosh, and things of that sort. And of course, it was a known fact that I had got apprehended, not at my conference, but behind the closed doors, due to unforeseen circumstances. Well, the night that Dr. Bynum was booked to minister at my church, minister at the conference, of course she did not show up. But it was then that a blog had came out, and I didn't know obnoxious at that time, but this information was sent to me, Jives, while I was temporarily detained. And in the year 2015, I recanted, or rather found that blog and it's still on Google to this day. If you Google my name, you'll see the information. And so I reached out to obnoxious, his office, or the number that was listed below. And long story short, I was able to contact him as well as speak with him briefly. And the conversation was very, very, it was unprofessional. There was a lot of back and forth going on both parts. Words were exchanged on both parts. And at that time, Obnoxious asked me if I would send him some money. He wanted me, and I quote, "You want me to take it down, send me $10,000.
So you mean to tell me, in order for him, which he created the story, in order for him to take down your story or your particular article, he's going to charge you $10,000?
That was it. That was correct. That was the first fee.
That was the first fee. The first fee.
Correct.
Okay.
So after words were exchanged, and basically I told someone I was not going to give him $10,000. Then he said, "Well, you send me $5,000, like you sent Dr. Bynum," in his words. So it was more or less like maybe an auction or bargaining, like a barter.
Right.
That's the proper word, a barter. And so when Obnoxious knew that I was not going to bite, I just, I just let it ride out. It wasn't until recently, this year, that Obnoxious clapped back or was upset because I came back with my story, sharing what Dr. Bynum did to me as well those few years back, and Obnoxious reached out to me via text and sent me that story. And he called me and said, "You don't want me to bring this story back up, do you?" And so, of course, I basically told him, it's already out there. So by you,
right. What you gonna
doing
do?
By you doing it again. So he was basically saying, well, this is for the newcomers, the people who don't know who you really are. And, and I have that text message. I've also, Obnoxious have, asked me to, take him out to eat and, spend time with him, things of that sort. So
what did he want to? Okay, so he did a story on you, tried to extort you out of $10,000. You didn't want to do that, so then he dropped it down to $5,000, and then you all had conversation to go back and forth, trying to, he's trying to barter with you about, how much, it'll take to get the story down. Then he asked you, because I saw the text message you sent me. He asked you about, are you still in Atlanta? Which you didn't respond. And then like a few days later, you said, "I'm gone." And so he's trying to get you to take him out to dinner. So he's trying to get you to take him out to dinner to do what?
So I wasn't sure as to where he was going with that. And as a matter of fact, to go back to the statement that you said when he said, "Are you still in Atlanta?" That was this year when I was at the Young Leaders Conference, and he found out that I was in because of the postings that I made, So some of my Facebook stuff is public and some is just, for friends only. And so I'm not sure, Jives, what Obnoxious, what his state of mind or what he, it's more like a give and take type of thing. So maybe, and I do know that how these things works, and I'm just a realist, that sometimes we tend to connect with individuals or do things with individuals that have a lot to lose like they do, or you don't want to have someone that has one up on you. So maybe that's what his position was. Or we could just flat out say maybe he just was attracted to Prophet Pastor Chandler and he wanted to shoot a shot.
With that being said, there's been a lot of people that he's called himself attracted to. Hell, he even told me this was like, oh God, what year was this? This was like maybe, I don't want to say 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. He used to call me on the phone trying to get stories on my cousin, and then trying to, say, "Oh, you want this pink pussy? Oh, put your lips on this big pink." I'm like, okay, no. But he's always been, I think it's for him, it's when he sees you have something and you're going somewhere or you're moving somewhere, especially in the church, he gravitates towards you and tries to see if there's dirt on you, especially if he feels that he could sleep with you.
And you know what? I want to add something else that I just remembered. Outside of me in ministry, my profession is real estate. I'm a landlord, so I have some property. I believe that Obnoxious, he covered a story. I don't know if you covered that story about Dustin Clarity some time back. And Obnoxious found that I was his landlord because I did make a video last year about how Dustin defrauded me. And I had to evict him, take him through the eviction stages. And Obnoxious wanted those receipts so that, he wanted to, I guess, drag Dustin Clarity. But I'm not in that field of work. That, if you do something to me, I know how to handle it accordingly. But as far as, I'm going to send you my receipts and send you, unless you are a state official, someone.
But see, that goes to show you right there, like he'll go after, now lately, he'll go after anyone. Like, what would be the reason for him to even go after Dustin Clarity? The only thing Dustin does, especially in the Church of God in Christ, is make flyers and program stuff for the church. And it's like, why are you going after Dustin? Because he's liked and he does things see that's a pattern. Anybody who is liked and they're progressive and they're doing something and people like them, he'll go after them and attack. He's been doing that with Dustin for years. He found the video of Dustin, the famous video, or somewhat famous, the video of Dustin, having a good time in himself, and he put that thing on blast several times because he wanted to destroy Dustin. And I remember even talking to Dustin, because me and Dustin were friends. I remember calling Dustin, checking on Dustin and everything like that. And Dustin was going through a period of depression and all this other stuff like that. And, he was hurt by it or whatever. But the thing was, it was like, what was your purpose in doing that?
Well, you know what? And I don't want to deter from, the issue at hand, Jives. And I empathize with, individuals that, are depressed and go through things in life. But, and I don't want to get spiritual. I'm going to get spiritual, then I'm going to get natural. The Bible talks about whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That's what it says.
Now, outside of that, there is a thing that's called karma. And so we can't be pity with individuals when life or God has to bring things to your attention. When you wrong people and do wrong, and I'm not saying just per se to me personally, but people in the past before Ryan Chandler ever walked in your life, everybody has that day that you will experience karma to come and visit you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is why we have to be so careful, just as well as obnoxious. I've had a conversation with William and told him, you tearing down the body of Christ. You're tearing down the people that's in the body of Christ. That's not good. What if somebody kill you? What if, you know what I'm saying? What if you get sued? But Obnoxious has this air about himself that, he doesn't care. He'll take down anybody by any means necessary. And so now, like I said, every dog or every individual has its day.
Yeah. Because, he personally, he had people to attack me, and they had people, their crew or whatever, to attack me. And I was just like, I said, where's all this stuff coming from? And it came from him. It was the same thing with another lady that was in Texas, and we ain't got to bring up her name, but, it was another lady in Texas. She got the stuff from William McCrae, using McCrae's videos to attack me, to attack my family, all because I came at Dr. Bynum. And I'm like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it became a pattern that every time...
one of your names in Texas? Was it in Dallas?
Yeah. No.
Really?
Was it in Dallas? Oh, anyways, they were in Texas. But, like, the thing is, it's like, this man is out here extorting you and so many other preachers and things for money. And it's like, yet and still, now something's being done about it. Now people really do have legit legal cases against him. And I think because things have been said and people have voiced it, now people have felt at least brave enough to come out and say something against him.
Well, that's good. I think recently he attacked one of my pastor friends out there in Atlanta, Pastor Tom.
Tom Anderson, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I know Pastor Tom personally, and because of the decisions, that he decided to make. Like I said, I don't know why Obnoxious is on a rampage of tearing down. It's almost remind me of the spirit of Saul when he went to go kill the Christians. Mm-hmm. So it's like Obnoxious trying to tear down the people that has a voice or have some type of influence, just like what you said. So and it saddens me. I will say this: it saddens me that the quote unquote notable, and I'm going to try to say this without name dropping, that obnoxious is connected to people in high places.
Or so-called high places.
Yeah, but that has influence, that has a voice, and they're paying him under the table to basically be team such and such, or team, you know what I'm saying? So let's flip the script. If I would have gave him money to basically, what you say, advocate for Ryan Chandler, but people's going to think whatever they want to think about an individual regardless. So to me, it's basically a waste of money for me. And I just knew that I was not going to give obnoxious 10,000, 5,000. And so that's what I've learned, just to continue to be an honest person. If I did it, I did it. If I didn't, I didn't. And
well, see, that's the situation is, especially now, it's like, if anybody's like, okay, the situation that happened with Larry Reed and William, when Larry Reed was speaking against E. Dewey Smith, he didn't have nothing to say. Didn't even make a story. Now, he did create a story a while back about the lady who allegedly had a baby. But when Larry Reed got the story and it got bigger, you know, I'm not sure how all of this transpired, but William McCrae was getting paid by E. Dewey Smith, and E. Dewey Smith bought him a car as well.
Oh, wow.
But what was said about this was done through somebody who had a repo service, gave William a car, and the car hasn't even had good tags on it for a while now.
Oh, wow.
Right. So it's like you out here driving hot. And, you know, I mean, but you're taking money from people who do have legit money. And
well, you know, I don't want to catch up, John. Well, now that you're telling this, it sounds like birds of a feather flock together. Doesn't this sound kind of similar? That William is using his platform to blog people's business or you know, whatever, put them on blast to destroy their, you know, character. But in order for me to take down the negativity, you have to pay me. Versus we have someone else over here pay me a deposit and I decide if I want to come for you or not.
Okay.
It sounds like a little cliquish to me, but I just, in my mind, you know,
Well, see, how do I say this? I have not been that type of person, because if I feel the need to do a story, I'll do a story on it. If not, I won't, because I just feel like really paying me. And I've always said, well, maybe I should have been like that, making folks pay me some money. Because, I mean, it ain't like I don't have the following, because I do. But I just feel like, what's the purpose? You know, of trying to, I mean, can I be Olivia Pope? Absolutely. But it's just like, after a while, as we see now, the truth is going to always come out.
This is true. Yeah.
It's going to always come out. And it's like, and then on top of that, it's like when you do dirty stuff, that's going to come out too. Because if it don't come out in the wash, it's going to come out in the rinse. And especially in William's case, it's coming out in the wash and the rinse. All your stuff is coming out now. Everything that you've done is coming out. And it's like, my nigga, at the end of the day, you have done some horrible things to people. I can even go back to one of the superintendents in Church of God in Christ. Superintendent.
I believe that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Superintendent Randolph. He destroyed this man's life. All because this man was having a gay relationship with someone, and he found the man's picture on Jack'd, found his private pictures on Jack, and put it all over his blog and everything, and ruined that man's life. And now,
can we say now? Let's say. Let me ask you this: when it comes to those things, because sometimes we have people to make fake profiles and use, people's, pictures. I would hate that happened for a superintendent, but where's the credibility in it? Some of the stories that Obnoxious do come up with, I will say that some of it is fabricated. And I know that for a fact because of me. You go back to the story he put in the blog that I got arrested at the church that Dr. Bynum was supposed to meet the night that
she paid him to do that.
Well, it wasn't until this year I found that out.
Right.
And see, he lied to me. When I had this conversation with William, he lied to me and said that he had nothing to do with that. He was not in cahoots with Prophetess Bynum. We was not friends. Things of that sort. It wasn't until I saw on YouTube that he did an interview with her at the beginning of this year. And I will be, frank with you. I got a little upset, and I contacted him and said, "You lied. You told me that you had nothing to do with this, and she didn't give you the information." And
she did. Because that was only to make her look like she was somewhat. Because during that time when you came out with that was when that whole John Moore stuff came out.
That's correct.
And so she wanted to look like the victim at all costs. She didn't want nobody to think that she was the predator. And I'm like, and even like when, good, I'm glad this came to my mind. Even when it came down to you going to jail, she even got in the comments. Now, whether it was her or whether it was that Urinka, the vacuum cleaner, she got in the comments and was like, "Oh, but he went to jail when I was coming to the conference. Oh, he was in jail. Oh, he was incarcerated." And I'm like, we're not talking about Ryan going to jail. We're talking about what you did. You took money from him and you did XYZ. So again, anybody who comes up against her, she uses them just like she used that one girl that was on Facebook. And she even shared her video. She shared her video because she was speaking positive about Juanita Bynum. Now, me personally, I'm going to tell you something. I was going to do an interview with Juanita Bynum at AIM. So, I had planned on doing an interview with Juanita Bynum at AIM. She was already coming to Tampa anyways. And I inboxed her and I said, it would be great to do an interview with you. Plus, because I think at that particular moment, I was trying to let bygones be bygones and move on. And I was going to give her one of my delightful pieces that I had created. So I was going to present her with something because I wanted to be and give like a little peace offering, a costly peace offering. So
yes. Want to give the prophet a glass of water.
Yeah, give her a little piece of water. And so I was like, I sent her a message. And so next thing I know, I watched this happen in service. They made sure she did not come down my road. Like legit. They made sure she did not come to my side down my road, period. And when she walked in, that she had like 20 people around her. I'm like, I'm not, first of all, I'm not the type of person to run up to you to try to do anything. That's not the type of person I am. 2, it don't matter if we are in the same room. You ain't got enough, you too scared to walk down the same row as me? But you got all this pop, this mouth and carrying on? You can't walk over here where I'm at? And then some little weird looking girl walking up and down the aisle and carrying on. And I said, I'm in church now. I said, bitch, what the fuck you supposed to do? You know, I mean, like, I'm trying to enjoy the service, and I was, but my flush was like, we really doing this right now? Like, y'all really don't want her to come over here? Like, I'm trying to enjoy the service, but the simple fact that you're walking over here where I am, and she don't even have the balls that she has to walk on this side where everybody's at. And I'm quite sure everybody else was feeling the same type of way too. And because I said, all these people over here, and you can't even walk over here on this side because of little old me? Oh, Brother Bynum, oh, okay. But, you know, whatever. Oh. Whatever. Hey, here's what it is.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, after all of that, like, William tries to come back and rehash things with you, and then he tries to drag you again because, again, you speak out. Well, not you speak out, but you spoke out against the Juanita Bynum. Child, I was a bitch. Anyways, I was too done. I was too done because even in the text message that I posted today, he was like, oh, he's not worthy. He's not credible. Oh, you can't trust anything that he says. He's a big liar. And I was like, why is it that anybody who speaks against this lady, you are ready to drag them and dog them out? That's questionable.
You know what? I believe when the situation with Dr. Bynum, with Pastor John Moore, and then myself, and I believe that when Larry, at first, when Larry Reid had announced that he was getting ready to have a live show, and originally you all was supposed to, participated in that. Mm-hmm. Everybody did have a comment. You had a comment, and he had a comment, but he kind of shied away from commenting against Juanita. So it is very obvious if people did not know. Like me, myself, I did not know that he was contracted through Juanita Bynum Ministries, basically to be an advocate for her ministry. And at the end of the day, that's your prerogative. If that's what you want to do, go out here, make your money. I'm not opposed to anyone making their money, Jives. If you can work your gift, if sliding down poles is your gift, slide down. If standing on the corner is your gift, stand there, rain, sleet, or snow. But don't mess over the people, and especially the people of God. But if they're not people of God, just don't mess over people at all. You never know when you may need those people. It's what I'm saying. And if you do right by people, you'll have more with you than against you. Absolutely. Is my opinion.
I agree with that. Absolutely. So I mean, we're almost done, but I feel like,
no worries.
As it relates to your story, which you're just one of the many men, because it seemingly he attacks men that are of stature or that have substance or that are moving or that are progressive, in as it relates to religion. And if he thinks or feels that you have some sort of and I'm just saying this. I'm not saying that you are. If he feels that you have some sort of homosexual tendency or whatever, he will do whatever he can to try to bring that out and to say that that's what you are, because he's done that with so many people. And the question that rolls in my head is, why do you feel the need to openly out someone because that's what you feel? Now, he says that he's not a homosexual.
So to piggyback on that statement, I'm very honest, very frank with you, Jives. I live my life. There's things that I do with discretion, and other things that I live my life like an open book. Simply because no one has a heaven and hell put me in. That's what I preach to my congregation.
I'm not saying anything about you. I'm saying that's...
Well, I know that.
Right.
Right, and so that's what I was going. I was just building my case.
Okay.
When I made that statement. And so it has been very... I have shared my testimony with the congregation, and even where I go minister, that I have, participated, in that lifestyle. And obnoxious have caught wind of it. And things of that sort. What happens is, and I'm very familiar with the LGBT community, and let's talk this. We know that homosexuals, especially the men, I can't speak for the lesbians, but they like to come for each other versus supporting. And I'm not saying the whole community as a whole, but certain ones, they like to tear you down to make themselves look good.
Right.
And they just do like petty stuff, immature things. And so when it comes to obnoxious, he likes to, as you say, target the men that he feels that may have gay tendencies, homosexuality tendencies, or let's even go to the extent the ones that he's attracted to. He wanted them, and since he can't have them, I'll just take you down. You see what I'm saying? When obnoxious, and I was looking for the conversation that we had one day. We had a knockout drag out because he would call me randomly, out my name, you whore, this and that. A lot of times I would just hang up the phone or entertain and to see, what is it that you continue to attack, especially, let me say this, especially when I had spoke out against Dr. Bynum. Oh God. It was almost as if the mafia was on their way to get me. You
faggot. You sissy. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. I don't have like a basic answer for that, but I agree with you that it appears that he attacks even another friend of mine. I believe Jives Mays, he wrote a story about him. These are people that I know, and these are people that travel all over this world, and they use, they give. And obnoxious, I haven't seen him do anything, Jives, other than do with his stuff. And to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to downplay, I thought that his blog was really played out. I didn't know that people still went over there to listen or watch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people don't. I mean, because I was looking at something that Heathen Central had posted. I mean, he may get 1,000 people a month, maybe, to view his stuff. Now, I remember a time when he legit, and I remember the numbers, that he legit would have 1 million plus people a month going to his blog. I remember that. Now it's like, people barely go over there.
And you know what? And now that this just came to me while we were talking, the stuff that he did to me this year. He made a little small video on me, and I think I had to ask my friend, and I'll send it to you. When I spoke against. I shared my experience with Dr. Bynum at that time when he was at a restaurant. I don't know if you got the chance to see that. And he was telling the people, that Ryan Chandler, who's a jailbird. And, he just goes on and on and on and on, about that rant. And this is the thing. And I say this to your audience, your viewers, your listeners, and anybody else. If you want to know anything about me, just You don't have to dig. You don't have to ask anybody. You don't have to find out from third party. Just ask me directly,
don't
and
ask
I'll
my
give
neighbor,
you
ask
clarity.
me.
Yeah, just ask away, and I'll give you clarity. Because a lot of stuff that is being read on the internet is fabricated, and a lot of stuff is not true. Even if somebody does go to jail, a lot of times when people go to jail, the charges are still up there. The case could be dismissed, or the disposition of the case is not posted, and so you're gonna have to go to the next step of getting expungement. And that stuff costs and things of that sort. And so you just you weed out what needs immediate attention, and then other stuff you don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. And so when God has His hand on you, you'll keep on going, even when He fires you. He reigns on the just as well as unjust.
That's true.
And gifts and callings come without repentance. So I think God is the only one that will ever stop any individual, in my opinion, Jives.
Yeah, He will. But sometimes He will employ people too to do the work.
well, I'll say amen.
Yeah. Praise God. Honda BBOs. Yay, God. But I mean, I feel sorry for a lot of people that have had to experience him, especially in a negative way. I used to say a lot of times, "Oh, William's a good person. Oh, William's a good person." And see, that's even that's during the time that he and I, when we were seen together, even at AIM, like I was really just not afraid to say, I'm cool with this person. I am somewhat associated with this person. We're cool. And excuse me, I was not afraid to say that. But then at the same time, everybody's coming to me like, Mario, why when he does this? And now just to say this, I was not paying attention to everything that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that he was constantly making videos, throwing shots at me, throwing shade, saying little stupid stuff about me. And it wasn't until recently that I got wind of everything and just saw everything that he was doing, which made me really just go there with him. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it is another vlogger that's coming at you. I got something to say. Because what you're doing is wrong. And see, Larry tried to help him. I tried to help him. And we all tried to come together to do something positive. Because we Larry, myself, and William, we started talking about the perils that were going on in the church. But when it came down to him, he only liked to talk about what men was sleeping with another man. It was never the women. Never the women. What men was, but because he did the same thing. I'm sorry, I take that back. He did the same thing to Angelique Simmons. He talked about she had HIV and AIDS or whatever, and she was a whore and all this type of stuff like that. And it was so weird. But it's like, if he does not like you, if he has something against you, he'll drag you. If it's a woman, he will drag you, talk about your children, whatever. And it's just really horrible. And I'm like, hey, but either way it go, it's like, you get what you get. I can't really feel sorry for you because it just, honestly, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. You just have to. This is a reap. Mm-hmm. This is what one of my mentors used to always tell me when I go through certain things that happen. I say, "Oh, Bishop, da 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 da." He said, "This is a reap. You got to take this. You got to take this, prophet. This is a reap." So I've learned just to take it as a reap.
we were talking about this the other day with him. It's like after you've done so much dirt, if you feel that you're not repented or you feel what you did, you were justified in it. You know, when it comes back around and it's your turn, just take it.
Yes.
Just take it, because you put it out there, you hurt these people, and you have no remorse. Like the things that he did to you, he has no remorse. All for the sake of one person that really can care less about him. And that's the truth. Really could care less. Because answer me this. When has Brother Bynum spoke out for William McCray? When?
Well, I don't know a Brother Bynum. I know a Sister Bynum.
Whatever. Brother Juan.
Other than Tom Bynum.
No, we're talking about Brother Juanito.
Well, I will say that. Well, I will say this, that going back, and I can just speak for myself, Jives, I did not know that Dr. Bynum was deeply associated with Obnoxious, the way that she is, up until recently, when I saw the interview. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw the interview on Facebook, I was on YouTube, I was very, very shocked. I was surprised, because Obnoxious is known for, as you say, dragging the saints. So I was shocked when she even entertained, even had an interview, and made the statement. If you listen to the YouTube video, she made the statement. She said, "This is my boy right here."
She said, "This is my friend."
Okay, yes, there you go.
This is my friend.
And that's what prompted me to say, "Oh, this is the person that gave you this story." But I have never seen her get on the platform to defend his character, defend who he is and things of that sort. So you're absolutely right. A lot of times preachers and people of the fivefold, we tend to try to stay away from the bloggers because it may be some negative publicity that you all may get a hold of. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I agree. I was reading a comment.
Okay,
somebody said for some odd reason the two of them, meaning William and Juanita or Brother Juan, they are the perfect match. Need I say more?
So yeah, like I was saying, we tend to stay away from the bloggers because you all may get a hold of negative publicity and negative information. It becomes public and things like that. So we try to stay up under the radar. And when I saw that, Prophetess Bynum was doing a live interview, so but she wouldn't do one with you.
Right, right. Yeah. See, here's the thing. She wouldn't do an interview with me, but because here's the thing. If you would have did an interview with me, let me put this right here. If you would have did an interview with me, that would have been credit to your name, because it would have been like, okay, the beef is squashed. Like you're doing an interview with somebody who has controversy with you, and they would be able to ask you questions that nobody who you have favor with would. And so it's like it would show that okay, this is a real person. And even though there's been beef, we can actually have a conversation. But see, since you don't want to do that, it shows that you only have conversation with people that will show you in a good light. See, when you're able to do interviews and stuff with a lot of people, it shows you that you're not afraid and you take accountability for things that you have done and all of this stuff. But she's not that person. She's not going to take accountability for her mess at all. And see, I would bring that stuff up, you know, but she, See, somebody said to me, they said, Mara, she really wanted to use you, but you know, with everything that's going on, she doesn't. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't want her to use me, because at the end of the day, I don't want my reputation to be questionable because of the people that I personally decide to interact with. Now, William, that's a whole other story. I tried it. It did not work. But I just did not want to go down the road.
Understand.
But I mean, I do appreciate you for even just being willing to even talk about your involvement with him and what he has done, because ultimately he's tried to tear you down.
Indeed.
Like, ultimately he's tried to ruin your character, which I think is absolutely asinine, if you ask me. So, do you want to say something else?
No, I think that covers everything. You know, I appreciate, I appreciate you for reaching out to me. So, that's it.
Okay. Well, I thank you. Appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
I need a shirt that say I'm saved. But bitch, you catch this bullet. Hello? I need a shirt that say that, okay? I need a shirt that say I'm saved, but you can catch this goddamn bullet. You know what I'm saying? Put the gun down. Greetings. Greetings. Yeah, anyways. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope all is well with you. Listen, make sure you hit that notification thing down there. And also hit that bell, okay? Hit that bell so that you're never left out, you're never confused, you're never wondering as to what I posted, was I on, or are you guys lost, or what is King really doing, okay? Just make sure I hit that notification. And make sure you subscribe. I love you guys. Talk to you later.